Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Walisha Wilson Menifee. I'm the founder of New Life Second Chance Outreach. We are a statewide organization that assists and support individuals who are impacted by an arrest, conviction, or incarceration. And we serve as a resource hub to connect them to the resources, the people, and the individuals who love them and believe in second chances for them. Today is our third and final session of the webinar series, Know Before You Go, which is the job fair success tips. Oftentimes we go to job fairs and we're just walking in, literally sometimes walking into our own doom, if you really want to say it, because we have not come in prepared. What we have on is not appropriate. What we are doing is not appropriate. Our emails are not together. Our social medias are not together. When we do get past the actual job fair recruiter, which actually could be the hiring manager, and do happen to get blessed to get that interview, a lot of us are lost and stumped because we don't know how to respond to wage questions, how to respond to that question of tell me about yourself. And so this series is going to do that. It's going to equip you to get the job. And we have Kathy Rosado here with Goodwill of Southern Rivers in Columbus, Georgia, who's going to give you this information. After this, it will be recorded and uploaded onto our YouTube page. And yes, we do have 3 sessions, and a lot of them are similar with the same information, but different information has been, we're discussing different information, and different information has been added from session to session. And also because we have other folks who are coming on, their Q&A question may just be the exact question that you had that was
Mhm.
not answered in the first one. So please watch all 3 of them to get the information that you need so that you can be successful. And hopefully, if you're watching this right now and you're coming out to our job fair, which is tomorrow in Columbus, Georgia, July 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., please come out. Every employer, every resource provider are second chance believers. It may be the opportunity for you to be able to possibly get your rent paid, get you some bus passes, and get you a job all in the same day. So please come out and join us. So I'm going to go ahead and let you have it, Kathy, and thanks to those who did join us.
Thank you, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and there's somebody in the chat. Oh, that was you. I'm gonna go ahead and share my share. Okay. Let me make sure it's completely open and can you see it completely?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect.
And Kathy, let me
Oh,
ask you one quick question.
yes,
What is
ma'am.
the difference? Because I'm going to post it. What is the difference between the Career Center and the Training Center? Are they the same? Because I see you have 2 separate tabs on the website.
No, the career centers, we focus basically on anybody who's looking for a job. If we have any hot jobs, we direct them so they can apply for the job. We help them with everything related to getting ready for that job. Resume, basically what we're sharing here on our PowerPoint. The
Mhm.
training center is where you go and get your certifications, CNA, CPR, OSHA. Once you have those certifications, what we do, we work in combination. So if we have a graduating class, then for example, the following month, we could probably do a multi-vendor hiring event for somebody for the group that graduated from CNA, for example. That would be a health related. So we work in
Okay.
conjunction that way. But ours is more focused on getting you the job, getting you ready with mock interviews, getting you ready with your resume versus getting certifications.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. So today's third and final session, Know Before You Go, is basically like Miss Walisha mentioned before. The training has been pretty much the same, but every time we give the training, something new is added or new questions are added. So it makes it more entertaining in the sense that you get more information versus less. Okay, bear with me. I gotta move this. There we go. Nope. So the training purpose is basically to know before you go. Know before you go to a hiring event or know before you go to an interview. Basically, the information is going to help you be ready for those particular sessions, whether you're rebuilding your life, re-entering the community, or changing careers, or even looking for a second chance. Preparation is always the key. Employers are always looking for reliable, motivated individuals who are ready to work. This training will provide you with practical tips and help you make a positive first impression and increase your chances of securing your employment. So, why do hiring events matter? Sometimes employer hire people they've met at the hiring event even before they post the jobs online. You have the opportunity to meet employers face to face. You learn about available positions. You practice networking. Sometimes you get on the spot interviews, and you have the opportunity to discover new community resources. So, one of the first things we always talk about is first impressions matter. Employers do notice this. So, when you walk into the hiring event or even into your interview, smile. Smiling creates a warmth, it builds trust, and it makes the interaction welcoming between you and your potential employer. Eye contact. Maintain that eye contact when you're having that conversation because it builds trust and it shows the confidence and the attention you have with that person. Believe in yourself, have that confidence, and show your abilities. Appearance, very important. Dress neatly and present yourself professionally. Attitude, stay positive, be respectful, and show enthusiastic. I'm not saying to go in there like, hey, let's have a party. No, be positive and show that you're ready to learn and you're ready for the next opportunity in your life. And finally, the communication. Listen actively, speak clearly, and build that positive connection with the potential employer you're going to have. So, we talked about dressing for success. These are some of the best practices. You do not need expensive clothing to look professional. Wear clean and wrinkle-free clothing and something that fits appropriately. Keep your hair neat and groomed. If you're a gentleman, brush it back. If you're a lady, so they can see your beautiful face. Avoid clothing with offensive language or graphics. Nothing that will bear any political message or even religion. Everybody has their own opinions, but you want to be as neutral as possible. Wear closed-toe shoes when possible, and minimize excessive jewelry and accessories. For the ladies, let's not go in with those really big hoops. Something minimal will make you look more professional. Good examples, you could wear a polo shirt, button-up shirts for both men and women, blouses, khakis, dress pants. If appropriate, you could wear jeans and obviously the closed-toe shoes. Avoid, avoid, avoid. We're gonna keep mentioning this over and over. Pajamas, pajama pants, dirty clothing, ripped clothing, like the ripped jeans. You don't ever want to go to an interview with ripped jeans. Offensive slogans on your shirts, revealing outfits, house slippers, Crocs, and strong perfume or colognes. You don't want to overbear the room when you walk in. But again, we want to emphasize avoid wearing pajama pants. We've had a lot of situations in the past where the people just come in with their pajama pants or even the pajama shirts. Avoid bonnets on your hair, ladies. Or avoid wearing Crocs. Don't come to the job fair or an interview in shorts. We really want to avoid those biker shorts. We've had a lot of, I'm mentioning all of these because these are the experiences and what we've seen in the past. And we always recommend and let the client know you have to dress in a different manner. Personal hygiene. This matters more than people realize. Before arriving, take a shower, brush your teeth, use deodorant, comb your hair, trim nails if needed, especially the men if they have very long nails, or keep them clean. You want to have clean hands. Remember, your appearance won't get you the job itself, but poor hygiene can keep you from getting one. Present yourself as someone who an employer would be proud to hire. Professional ethic matters. Before meeting an employer, make sure you're not walking in there chewing gum. Make sure you get rid of that gum before you walk in there. Avoid smoking or using marijuana. I know a lot of us get a lot nervous. Sometimes we're so anxious, we want to go and be the best that we can. But if you smoke before you go into an interview, it's going to stay on you. If you're using marijuana, I promise you, it's going to stay on you. And not only will you smell like that, but also the environment will smell like that. And it's very uncomfortable for other people. Ensure no strong odors are on you. When I talk about strong odors, again, let's not wear very heavy colognes or very heavy perfumes that potentially we love it, but maybe it's too strong when we walk into the room. Turn your cell phone off or keep it on silent. We don't want any interruptions. Arrive at least 10 or 15 minutes early, not only for the hiring event, also if you have a planned interview, make sure you're there on time. 10 to 15 minutes before, not specifically on the dot. It says a lot about you. Listen carefully. Make sure that you're paying attention to what the employer is talking to you about. Speak clearly and respectfully, especially when you have questions and you want to know what's going on or what's the next step. And always thank the employer for their time. Your phone can cost you the job. Again, that's why we mentioned put your phone on silent. Don't text while you're talking to the person. Don't answer calls. I know sometimes we have emergencies, but if we have it on silent or on vibrate, we could kind of ignore it and then we can get back to the person after the fact. And especially don't scroll down social media if you're waiting to be seen. Again, no gum. Avoid chewing gum. Avoid eating a candy because suddenly the person's going to talk to you and you have that ball of gum or the candy in your mouth and you're like, oh, excuse me. And especially avoid eating while speaking. We don't want to see what's going on in there. As I mentioned earlier, avoid your social media. Specifically, your social media does matter because, believe it or not, employers will look at it. Your online presence is part of your first impression. Sometimes employers will review the social media before making any final hiring. Profanity, offensive language, inappropriate posts, that can raise a concern about professionalism. Negative comments about previous employers, coworkers, customers, that could be a really big red flag. You don't want to say anything negative that will show what you're feeling. I know we want to vent sometimes, but social media is not the place for it. Avoid having photos or videos involving illegal activity, excessive drinking, or risky behavior, because that will and may hurt your chances of getting hired. Inappropriate jokes, discriminatory remarks, or bullying posts can also cost you the opportunity to get hired. Review your privacy settings, but remember, nothing online is ever completely private. Remove or untag yourself from contact that doesn't reflect the professional person that you want to show the employers. It's something you have to work with, but you'll be able to make it happen. Social media pro tips. Use social media to showcase your strength, volunteer work, certifications, accomplishments, or career interests. Let's say you just received a diploma, you want to showcase that diploma. Social media, that's Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your professional social media, and it gives you the opportunity to showcase who you are professionally. Keep your profile picture professional and ensure usernames and emails addresses are appropriate. Now, when we're talking about profile pictures, I'm not saying to go out there and get a professional picture taken, but a decent picture looks good. Let's post it. Nothing with doing some crazy stuff out there. Ask yourself, would I be comfortable hiring this person? Does this post represent the person I want an employer to hire? Or even what would I say during a job interview if I'm asked? Remember, your social media can either open doors or close them. Make sure your online presence reflects the professional you want employers to see. Another situation that we have is you shouldn't bring children to a hiring event. I'm not saying it's a negative all the way back there, like a no-no. There are situations, but we recommend not bringing children to hiring events. Why? Employers expect candidates to be focused and professional. Children may become bored, restless, and need your attention during conversations. Imagine you're talking to an employer and your kid is pulling at you. It can make it difficult to complete applications or even participate of on-site interviews. Recruiters may have a limited time and can move on to the next person. Hiring events can be crowded. It can be noisy, and it's not always child-friendly. You have to be careful about their safety. You ha It may create safety concerns in busy event spaces. And bringing children can unintentionally distract you from your qualifications and experience. Although you are qualified for a job or you do have the experience that the employer is needing because you're distracted or the employer may be distracted looking at the child, it may not work for you. It may work against you. Arranging childcare allows you to present yourself in your best and your most confident self. If childcare isn't available, contact the event organizer to ask about accommodations or future hiring events. Apply online if the employer offers that virtual or electronic applications. So let's just say you look at the hiring event and you see the group of employers that are going to be available. Do your research. Go online, follow up to see what positions they have available. If you can't make it to the hiring event, go ahead and apply online. Or schedule to attend another hiring event when you can focus entirely on your job search. Your goal is to make a strong first impression, giving employers your full attention and being able to give the opportunity that you're looking for can improve your choices of landing the interview or the job offer. Again, it's what you're able to bring to the table. This is another one that we really like to focus on. Create a professional email address. We've seen some very interesting emails in the past. So your email address should make a positive impression. For example, your first and last name at email.com. If you need to add a number, your first and last name, add a number, add a year, or anything that will make it look more professional without it saying party guy 123, cutie pie 123, 88, the thug life, and Walisha has a couple of good examples because your email is often the first thing the employer sees. So if you send your resume and it says the thug life or dope, aka king, whatever the case may be, those are situations that the employer will be like, wait a minute, what is this person doing or what has the person been doing in the past? It's not going to give you a positive first impression.
And yeah, that's what I was telling. One of them was explicit in nature. Another one, Dope Boy 1987, uh, Trap King, Mom of 10, number one Alabama fan. Even some things like that bothers you because what if your boss is an Auburn fan? And people seem to think that that would be stupid for somebody to not hire me. People can be petty.
Mm-hmm.
They could be petty. you know, if they see you coming in and you're professional, but you have black lipstick on, you're more of a goth person, but you have black lipstick on, you all wear black. If that person is like super hyper Christian, they may automatically assume that you are a devil worshiping goth.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So you want to just be very careful. Georgia is a state. They can fire you because you're too tall. They can fire you because you're too skinny. They can fire you because you came in with the wrong kind of perfume on that they don't like. They are a fire at will state. They can fire you for whatever reason. And it's the same thing when they don't hire you. So don't go in. Actually, some people get your resume the first thing they see from you when you have emailed your resume ahead of time. So if you're a 45-year-old woman, your email should not be cutie pie something. That's like an email for a 12-year-old. It needs to be age appropriate. It needs to be where you are going forward. Emails are free. You can get 100 Gmail accounts. If you like to do landscaping, but you also like to do baking, and you have a resume that reflects your landscaping, and you have a resume that reflects your baking. There's nothing wrong with having an email. That's kind of if I figure that's the only thing. I mean,
Yeah,
we've had them where folks that's their thing. They're artists, and that's where they're going. And you might want to say the creative guy or something because that is going along with what you're doing,
that's correct.
or number one cakes or something. That's different because you're applying for a baker's position. But if you are a 50-year-old woman, you have no business with a nickname or something, Pookie 12. That is ridiculous. So yeah, that's the number one. That one in them social media pages, that I get them all the time. I mean, when I used to hire, automatic, I'm asking you if you got a social media page, and I done got that. What you need my social media page for? Because I want to see what you're doing on Saturday, Sunday, and I want to see what you're doing after work, and I want to see what you're doing before work. Because some people literally get high before they go to work. Some
Hmm.
folks are drinking before they go to work. So I need to know what you're doing and if it's going to reflect on my business and it's going to make my business look bad. So,
That's correct. Like we're saying, don't give an employer a reason to eliminate you. That means your social media, your emails. There's no reason for an employer to eliminate you if you are a professional. Always present yourself professionally. Be positive. Stay positive when you walk in and show your confidence. Avoid discussing personal problems or negative comments from your previous employers. Let's say you had a bad experience. It's not something you want to share with your current employer. Be respectful to everyone you meet. Always focus on your qualifications and your strength. Employers are looking to hire you. Help them focus on your skills and your experience and your potential, what you can bring to the company. Don't volunteer information that has been asked. Many applicants become nervous and share too much information. If you have a felony background, you don't have to bring it up immediately. Focus first on your skills, your work history, and your strength. If asked, be honest, be brief, but do take responsibility. Answer the questions without oversharing. You don't have to explain what happened in the past and what happened during your situation. You want to keep it short and simple and direct to the point. Keep your responses always focused on your skills, your work experience, your goals, your ability to perform the job needed, where you see yourself in the future. Just again, we don't want to overshare information that not necessarily is needed to be shared. You just want to let them know what you learned and where you're going and what your future is. Now, don't be timid. Always engage in a conversation. These are some of the questions that you can ask an employer if you're curious about the job. Sometimes we come in, we don't know what that employer is all about. So you want to know what positions they're hiring for, or you want to know what qualities make the successful person in this role. If they are asking for specific certifications, do they provide on the job training? And if they do, sometimes they can go ahead and be paid on the job training, where you're getting trained, you're getting paid, and you're getting the certification, and then you get the job. Let's just say you want to strengthen your application. Definitely ask them if there is anything that you should be putting on your application to make it stronger for them to take you into consideration. There are a lot of opportunities to have a conversation with the employer. Again, that's maintaining the eye contact, maintaining clear conversation with them, and engaging with them will help them see that you are your personality is connected with them and that you have genuine interest in the position or in their company. They want to hire people that they can communicate with fluently. And another thing you keep in mind, employers always remember people who ask thoughtful questions. These are just a few of the questions you could take into consideration. You can come up with more questions and get that conversation going. Now, this is the one that it always happens and never fails. Tell me about yourself, or tell me a little bit about yourself. This is one of the most common interview questions over and over. Even though we practice it, we have to be consciously about it. So, one thing that you're always going to talk about is who you are professionally. We're going to talk about your experience or skills. Depending on the job that you're looking for, you're going to make sure you're going to mention what experience or what skills are beneficial for the company when you're telling them about yourself. And also make sure you let them know what you're looking for. For example, my name is James. I have experience in warehouse operations and customer service. Over the last few years, I worked on improving my skills and preparing for new opportunities. I'm looking for a position where I can contribute, continue learning, and grow with the company. Keep your answers for about 60 to 90 seconds. If you're not sure about this, write a small paragraph, 60, 90 seconds, practice it. Look in the mirror. How do you look when you're talking about this, and how you're going to express yourself? But always keep professional. Make sure it's relevant and your skills and what you are looking for now. How to answer what type of work you're looking for. Let's be real about this. Don't say, I'll do anything. I know. I know that many times we're desperate. We need a job, and we need a job now. But there are situations that we're not going to be able to handle. For example, let's say you work in a fast food area, and yeah, you went in there to maybe make the food, clean the counter tables, cashier. But then we have a big accident in the bathroom. Okay. Big accident, and you just don't want to deal with it. But guess what? Part of your responsibility is you're gonna go in there, you're gonna clean up that mess, you're gonna clean up that accident that happened in there. Not everybody's up for that kind of work. That's just an example. There are many other kind of examples. But one of the biggest mistakes is I'll do anything. While employers do appreciate your flexibility, they want to know where your interests are and what your strengths are. Show them that you have thought about your future and your career goals. For example, if you like customer service, why do you like customer service? Because I like working with people. Or I want to work in a manufacturing company. Why? Because I like to work with my hands. Or I'm interested in warehouse operations or logistics. Maybe you have a background where you've worked with logistics. Or I'm looking for opportunities in the healthcare support. Maybe you have a CNA certification, or maybe you've worked helping being a caregiver in a certain organization, and that's something that you're bringing for this company. There are many opportunities, but focus on your interests and on your strength. Now, there are times that we have to address the lack of employment experience. Usually this happens when somebody has a gap in their years of experience, or maybe they haven't worked at all, or maybe they're just coming out of high school. There's many reasons why it happens. However, it doesn't have to be limited only to work experience. The truth is that employers value your skills, your reliability, and your willingness to learn. Focus on what you've done. Consider experiences that you've done in volunteering or community work. Caregiving responsibilities. If you've taken care of another person, that is an experience. Or maybe you were in school and getting some certifications or some training. That's another experience that you can add within your resume. Or let's say that you have volunteered in church activities. It could be anywhere from doing a potluck or organizing volunteers within the church, or wherever organization that you may be volunteering at. All of those are experiences that you can share and add to your resume. And in addition, let's just say you are the organizer, that's a leadership role. What did you do as a leader when you're organizing your volunteers? Some example responses that I may not have extensive work experience, but I have completed training, developed strong communication skills, and am eager to learn and grow. I am dependable, motivated, and ready to work. That's a good example you can add when you're looking to talk to an employer and you don't have a lot of employment experience. Keep that in mind. Addressing employment gaps. Gaps are common and it can occur for many reasons. Best practice, always be honest. Provide a brief explanation. Focus of what you learned and how you have prepared to return back to work. And finally, redirect the conversation. Make sure that it's being redirected to your goals and your qualifications. For example, you may experience a period away from the workforce, but during that time, I focused on my personal growth, completing training, and preparing myself for employment. I am now ready and excited to return to work. Again, you don't have to overshare. This goes very much with a brief explanation. No oversharing, direct to the point. Now, if you are an individual that has been incarcerated, there are ways to talk about it, your situation professionally. I apologize. Let me go back. Many individuals are nervous about discussing incarceration. The key, as always, we've been saying it from the beginning, all the conversations, be honest, be accountable, but always focusing on growth. When employer asks, just acknowledge the past, take the responsibility. You learn from your mistakes, highlighting positive change. What happened from then to now? What did you learn? What certifications have you gotten? What experience have you gotten? Always, always focusing on the future. Avoid blaming others. Don't become defensive. Sharing unnecessary details. Again, let's keep mentioning this. Avoid oversharing. And definitely avoid speaking negatively about the justice system. Keep your response brief, professional, and forward focused. An example that you can say is you made a mistake in the past that resulted in a period of incarceration. During that time, I took the opportunity to reflect, to learn, and improve myself. Since then, I have completed training, developed new skills, and remained committed to building a stable and productive future. I am ready to contribute positivity to the employer who is willing to give me an opportunity. Direct to the point, short and simple, and honest. Now, when you come to the hiring event, it's a hiring resource event. For example, for tomorrow, visit every table. Even if you don't have your dream job, you may discover better opportunities. You may find there's a table that provide you with training programs. There are going to be community resources. You may find something that you weren't looking for and needed. Housing assistance, transportation, educational programs, apprenticeships, and of course, the second chance employers. You'll have the opportunity to see everybody. And particularly, I want to emphasize for tomorrow, we have about 34 vendors. So you have 34 tables that you can look at, learn from, and get the opportunity to learn more and possibility get that second chance opportunity for an employment. Keep that in mind. Okay, very important, be prepared. Before attending a career fair or even an interview, bring multiple copies of your resume. Let's just say you don't have resumes, come early and we'll help you print out your resume. Know your work history. If you did create a resume, make sure you know what's on that resume. Because if employer starts asking you questions directly from your resume and you don't know how to answer, that's going to be a problem. So keep in mind that when you're creating a resume, even if you do have AI help, make sure it's information that you are inputting and not being created by someone else or the system. Have references ready. You can have anywhere from 2 to 3 references, personal and professional. Research the companies attending. So if you have the opportunity and you see in the flyer, there are a lot of companies that you can go ahead prior to come to the fair and get to know what is it they're offering, what's their focus. Practice into introducing yourself. Like I said earlier, look in the mirror. How do you look like when you're talking? What is your short introduction? 50 to 60 to 90 seconds. Bring a notebook and pen. You never know who you're networking with. What if it's somebody that you need their information? You can get the email and you can get their phone number, and that way you're able to follow up. Preparation builds confidence. And we go to the key, confidence. One of the biggest challenges for individuals is seeking a second chance is overcoming self-doubt. Don't doubt yourself. You're coming in here to demonstrate who you are, your abilities, and your experience. Every interview is an opportunity to tell your story, demonstrate your growth, and show employers the value that you're bringing. Your past may be part of your story, but it doesn't define your future. Focus on your strength. Prepare thoroughly, present yourself professionally, and let employers see the person you are today, not the circumstances. Remember, you are more than your past mistakes. You have skills and experience that do matter. Employers are looking for people who show up, are reliable, are hard workers, and contribute positivity. Confidence comes from preparation. So if you're prepared, you're confident. You're going to have everything you need and all the resources that you need to come to a hiring event or your interview. Remember, your future starts today. Remember, and again, I know I'm emphasizing, dress professionally, put your phone away, be confident, believe in yourself 100%, and don't forget to bring your smile. Thank you.
As always, since the last 2 sessions, great, very informative information. At this time, we'll have any questions from anybody who's online. Any questions particular in, whether you're working now, whether you'll be working next year, or I know they do also offer trainings, but right now this is for the job part. So if you have any questions, feel free to take yourself off mute and ask. You have a question?
I
Okay.
think I think Carla hit herself.
Well, I'm glad you all joined. And we're actually looking forward to tomorrow. And even though the job fair is catered towards folks who are deserving of a second chance, that does not mean because you don't have a record that you cannot attend. And that does not mean this webinar session um, is not for you if you don't have a record. This is for anybody, whether you're going to an in-person, virtual job fairs, which is really happening a lot now. These tips should be able to provide you, and I'm confident that they will be able to provide you to better engage. I guarantee you, just by saying, you know what, now I know how to answer this question because I actually watched this video. I know how to answer, tell me about yourself. Because I would have gone in and started talking about how I like to play Mario Super Brother card or what all this other kind of stuff. And that's not what an employer wants to hear. So I am really hoping, and now that we've done this, I'm thinking tomorrow, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be on this automatic scan. Like, I
Hmm.
wonder who watched our video. I wonder who watched the video. That person definitely didn't watch the video. That person definitely didn't watch the video. And I am just really curious as when people give you information that is free information, that is empowering you to be better and do better, get the information, because having that information could be the one thing that gets you the job or keeps you from a job. Because
Exactly.
it's not that the information isn't out here. There's more than enough, an abundance of free information out here what people are using to give folks the information. You just got to get it and you got to want it to help you better. And I guarantee you, it's going to be somebody's going to come through there tomorrow. They're going to go to every table. There are going to be some folks that's not going to go to every table because they didn't watch this video that says for go to every table. They're going to walk out and they're going to badmouth and say, when nobody at that job fair for me and blah, 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 blah. And that's absolutely wrong. There's an employer in one room. If there are 30 people in that room, there's no reason why, even if you didn't get to talk to an employer or somebody that you got, there's no reason to leave out of there with at least an application completed or without at least having, give me a call. Let me get your information. I'm saying for the employer to be telling you, let me get your information. What you say your name was again? Especially if they're asking you, they've asked you that twice. What you say your name was again? Because they're trying to remember your name.
Exactly.
Don't go in there and literally leave money on the table because you think you know everything about what there is to do in a job fair. Because I guarantee some of y'all gonna come in there tomorrow with your clogs on, with your booty shorts, your tank tops, smelling like weed, 3 or 4 children, and you're gonna want to know why you did not get the job. That is not normal. And if somebody have told you that it's normal, Kathy and Walisha are telling you right now, they need to stop normalizing it because there's nothing cute about bonnets, wearing pajamas, stuff that's supposed to be worn in your house. There's nothing cute about wearing that to a job fair, let alone in public. Not
Exactly.
even on the cruise ship buffet breakfast line. It ain't cute. So leave that stuff at home because we want you to be successful. And sometimes you literally want to shake somebody and say, we didn't do this one time. We didn't do it twice. We did it 3 times to give you an opportunity to tell you what you needed to be successful. And you come in here with them slides and pajamas on and 6 running nose hollering children. Come on, you got to do better. If you want better, you got to do better. If you want better,
Exactly.
you got to get the information that's being given to you. So I'm going to leave that alone. And that is the flyer for tomorrow. A lot of great folks, Clarvita, everybody on this list. Every employer will consider folks with records. We have resource providers on there from Hope Harbor Domestic Violence, um, Safe House Ministries, Church's Chicken. We have an individual trucking session. Even during the training, the workshop is 10 to 2. The event is actually 10 to 2. During that training session, during that event, there's going to be 3 different sessions, breakout
Hmm.
sessions.
Yep.
Actually 4. We're going to be having one where Georgia Justice Project is going to be coming down and talk to individuals who have something on their record about what the expungement process is, what can make you eligible to get your record restricted. They're going to be doing that at 11 a.m. and they're going to take a break and then they're going to do it again at 1. It's going to be the same information. You can bring your criminal record before you even ask, can I bring my criminal record so they can look at it? They're not going to have the opportunity, the time, or the capacity to be looking at your own individual records. If you got it with you, bring it. You just never know. You might be able to grab a spot, but this is not what that session is. It's just going to be an info session telling you what makes you eligible to get an expungement and how you can get their services for free to help you get your record clear. She's going to do that at 11 and 1, and then we're going to have Safe Line 360, Supply Line 360, who is going to be doing a session for individuals who's interested in the trucking, dispatching, warehousing business, like any type of trucking. So whether you want to drive or be a dispatcher or start your own business in 18-wheeler trucking, this will be the workshop for you to come to. And Goodwill is going to be having a separate session where you can watch these 3 sessions or which session that they have with these job fair tips on it so that you can get out of that room, walk right out to the event, and use those same tips and talk to an